Pilgrim Baptist Bishop Randy Fraser a step closer to learning his fate in his unlawful sex trial. Today, lawyers in the case made final submissions, paving the way for the judge to weigh the evidence before delivering her decision next month. Fern Carey was in court today.
The prosecution and defense both agree that the outcome of Bishop Randy Fraser's unlawful sex trial will depend on whether the judge believes the evidence of Bishop Fraser or that of the 16-year-old victim, who alleges that the Pilgrim Baptist Church pastor abused his position of trust by engaging in a sexual relationship with her. During Friday's proceedings, both sides made a final attempt to sway presiding magistrate Carey to Bethel. Fraser's attorney, Mangra, argued that the prosecution did not prove Fraser had a sexual relationship with the teen. He attacked her credibility and her testimony, describing it as inconsistent and not corroborated by other witnesses. Mangra also described the voice and text messages between Fraser and the teenager as hearsay and therefore inadmissible, noting that none of it was produced in court to verify its authenticity. Now, Bishop Fraser is charged with having unlawful sexual intercourse with a 16-year-old dependent, an offense Mangra contends does not exist under the law. Prosecutors also allege the offenses occurred between July 2005 and February of 2006, a time frame Mangra stressed is outside of the period when Fraser is alleged to have committed the offense. But lead prosecutor Franklin Williams noted that under Section 14(3)(e) of the Sexual Offences Act, Fraser is charged correctly. And while amendments have been made to the legislation, Williams said it was done after the 54-year-old bishop was charged with the crime. He also pointed out that the teen showed consistency in her testimony, as she made the complaint twice to two different people on two separate occasions while the alleged abuse was ongoing. The recorded messages and voicemail between Fraser and the teen, some of them sexually explicit, also confirm an ongoing sexual relationship, according to Williams. The prosecutor noted that witnesses who heard those messages were able to identify Fraser's voice, as they were members of Pilgrim Baptist Church, which Fraser pastors. And even though court evidence shows Fraser repeatedly told the victim nobody would believe a story because he has friends in high places, Williams said she still testified, despite a fear of being ridiculed. And based on the teen's testimony that Fraser attempted to get her to watch pornography at his home, Williams said police later found pornography in his bedroom closet. Exhibit photos during the trial also show that the 16-year-old was accurate when she described in great detail the 54-year-old bishop's bedroom, other areas of his house, and the balcony, evidence which Williams says points to an intimate sexual relationship. Deputy Chief Magistrate Carey de Bethel will rule in the case on November 25th. Fern Carey, ZNS News.
Meantime, officials at the Ministry of Health are holding steadfast to their initial statement. There are no cases of cholera in the Bahamas. However, it has been confirmed that those illegal immigrants housed at the department or detention center have been transferred to Her Majesty's prison. Carla tells us why.
Minister of Health Dr. Hubert Minnis may be literally and figuratively correct when he now says,
"No, there's no cholera in the Bahamas. No cholera in the Bahamas."
Had he been asked that same question at the latter part of September, his answer may have been different. Reportedly, that's when a male Haitian national gained a legal entry to the Bahamas from Haiti by boat, who has since tested positive for the cholera disease.
A Haitian vessel was captured in the high seas. The individual was sick, subsequently taken to detention center. All precautions were taken. They were taken to emergency room and in quarantine, where cholera was suspected from day one, and they were dealt with appropriately in hospital, received the necessary medical care, and subsequently repatriated.
How long does it take when you talk about treating a person with cholera? How long does it take?
A lot depend on the severity, but the individual would have been in hospital for a couple of days.
While not contagious, cholera is transmitted by contaminated water and coming into contact with fecal matter. That's why proper hygiene is critical.
Dehydration, because usually associated with severe diarrhea, and because of the loss of fluid, you may become dehydrated, and depending on the severity, can subsequently die.
Luckily, that was not the case for that Haitian migrant. As for those who were on board the vessel with him at the time, and the other detainees he may have come into contact with at the detention center off Carmichael Road, they were all tested and have since been transported to Her Majesty's prison.
Some would have received medication as a precaution, because you can have what you call asymptomatic cholera, and therefore, as a precaution, all would have been treated to ensure that there's no cholera. You would want an empty detention center so that you can clean it down, sanitize it, etc. And therefore, you cannot have individuals within the environment. Therefore, they would have been moved to the prison. But I must state that no individual who would have been taken to the prison would have had cholera, and therefore, cholera would not have been introduced into society at all, full stop.
Minister Minnis says every protocol is being taken by his health team to ensure that the cleaning process at the detention center meets international standards. However, he could not say how long the process is likely to take. Carla Palmer, ZNS News.
Activities marking National Youth Month are coming on nicely. Today was Youth in Parliament Today, and these young people debated the issues just like the pros. Anthea Smith has a look at how it went.
They're issues parliamentarians debate that grab national headlines and sometimes leave the country split down the middle. Well, during the 17th session of Youth in Parliament today, a handful of young Bahamians who are seemingly keeping a keen eye on social issues had their say on aspects of the country's constitution. Issues from the death penalty, education, illegal immigration, sex, gender, and race discrimination were just some of the issues tackled.
Man, woman, gay, lesbian, straight, bisexual, or asexual. We all stand here today as Bahamians, as citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, protected by one constitution. Therefore, we all should be treated and protected equally.
There should be absolutely no difference in the rights of a Bahamian man and the rights of the Bahamian woman. Bahamian is Bahamian. Point blank. And our Constitution should reflect just that.
In some way, all political parties have sought to call an election at a time that is most favorable to their party. As a result of this, it is my firm belief that providing for a fixed state in the Constitution would allow for nature to take its course.
A number of real-life parliamentarians like Angliston MP Glenys Hannah Martin, Elizabeth MP Ryan Pinder, Golden Isles MP Charles Maynard, and Clifton MP Kendall Wright sat in the gallery to watch as the youngers debated these very pertinent issues. As Minister of Youth, Maynard offered some words of wisdom.
We wanted to hear from you. What changes may be necessary in this new global environment that we live? I don't want to put any pressure on you, but I want to remind you that in this very same place, I'm not sure if the chairs may have changed, but definitely the place that you're in has not changed. It's Lyndon Pinland sat on either side.
The youngsters say the country's constitution should be amended to fall in line with more modern times.
Most of us are aching for the government to get rid of the Haitians, Jamaicans, and send them back to their country. The Bahamas is for the Bahamians, we say, but few of us live up to the image of that industrious, hardworking, virtuous, family-orientated, and God-fearing Bahamians described in the Constitution.
The Privy Council has served its time, Madam Speaker, and frankly, they benefit our country in little to no way. Yes, we need a reminder of where we have come from, but only if it is an asset, not a liability.
The Youth in Parliament session is a part of National Youth Month. Anthea Smith, ZNS News.